Hey guys, Mr. Riss here to help you out and finish up our chapter 2 packet here. Today we're just going to be writing linear equations. We're going to do more with those. Probably have to do a little practice and review before, but today we're going to make sure we can do linear equations both with a point and a slope, and then also we'll talk about parallel and perpendicular slopes. All right, so just the key concept that we talked about before is that we pretty much use three equations to write the linear equation. Slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Excuse me, I knew that was coming like the second I pressed record, but here we go. This is the one we use the most. There's point slope, which was like y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That one's not too bad. And then there's standard form, which let's not talk about. It's pretty difficult, or I shouldn't say, there's a lot easier ways using like slope intercept form. Okay, so if we remember some things about geometry here, parallel lines are two lines that never touch. So that means that they have the same slope. So their slopes would be the same. So M1, the slope of line 1 would be the same as M2, or the slope of line 2. The other thing is that their y-intercepts are two different spots because they both are at different locations on the y-axis. All right. Perpendicular lines, their slopes are special too. Their slopes are opposite reciprocals. And so that what that means is that if like one slope is 2/3, the opposite would be we flip it and then we change the sign. So if you had -4/7, perpendicular to that would be flipping it. So it'd be 7/4, and you'd make it positive. Where it gets a little tricky is like, say we have a slope of 3. Well, what we have to remember is that 3 is technically 3/1. So perpendicular to that would be, we flip it and then change the sign. So opposite reciprocals for perpendicular. All right, so remember, we're going to use points, or we have point slope, but let's just do y equals mx plus b here. Well, we're going to find the equation of line. So let's write this here and go through this problem. All right, if we have a point here at 5, 3, and it's parallel to this, remember we need to find two things, our m and our b. Okay, well, if we know that it needs to be parallel to this, the slope needs to be the same. So if this has a slope of 1x, that means our parallel line would have to have a slope of 1. Our goal is to figure out y equals mx plus b, and now we have at least one of those things. Now to find the b, remember what we're going to do is we're going to take our x, y, and our m and plug it into the equation and solve for b. So we got y is 3, m is 1, x is 5. We're going to solve for b. So 3 equals 1 times 5 is 5. We'll subtract 5 over, and we get, let's see, that'd be -2 equals b. So what we're going to do then, if you remember, we just plug in our m and our b into our final answer here, and we get y equals 1x plus -2, or -2. If you want to put x minus 2, that would work as well. Alrighty. Keep this going here. All right. Next, let's go through this one here. Let's find the equation that goes through this point and is parallel to this. If you want to pause the video and try it on your own, you can. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this started. All right, we need to find two things, our m and our b, so we can plug it into y equals mx plus b. Our m, if it's parallel, it's going to be the same slope as this one here. So the slope is 1/2, so our m is going to be 1/2. Now our b, we're going to use the x and our y to figure out what b is. So we got y is -6, our m is 1/2, our x is 4. We're going to solve for b. All right, 1/2 of 4 is 2. If we minus the 2 over, b would be -8. So we're going to take those two answers and plug them in. And so we get a parallel line of y equals 1/2 x minus 8. Okay, not too bad. All right, now to just kind of step this up a notch here, what if we were given a problem that wasn't given to us in y equals 4? Okay, so this is kind of like as bad as this whole chapter gets. We want it to be parallel to this line, and then it goes through this point. All right, so we need to fill out y equals mx plus b. We got to find our m, we got to find our b, and our m's not given to us. Okay, well, remember, we can always figure out what our slope is by getting the y by itself. So let's minus the 4x over, and we get 2y equals negative 4x plus 7. Then we can go through and divide by 2 on all numbers here, and we get y equals, we divide that would be a negative 2x, and then that doesn't come out nice, so we'll leave it as a fraction. All right, so this is not our answer. This just tells us the slope that we wanted it to be parallel to. So our m is going to be a negative 2. We want it to be parallel, it's going to be the same. Now we got to find b by using our x and our y and our m to find our b. So let's see, y is negative 2, m is also negative 2, and our x is 4. We're going to solve for b. So we get negative 8. We add 8 over to the negative 2 to solve for b. That'd be 6. Okay, so now we're going to just take our answers here and we're going to write it out. So the answer would be y equals negative 2x plus 6. Always good to have these examples written down in your notes so you can use it on a test. All right, now perpendicular here. Perpendicular is going to be the same as parallel. We just have to remember to flip and switch the slope. All right, so we got to find our m, we got to find our b. We're going to plug it into y equals mx plus b. All right, so if we want it to be perpendicular to this line, if the slope is 3 over 4, we're going to flip it and change the sign. So our m is going to be negative 4 over 3. We still don't know the b, so we're going to use our x and y to solve for b. So y is negative 6. Our m is going to be negative 4 over 3. And our x is 4. Solve for b. Okay, this one is not going to come out nice, but you know that happens sometimes in life. All right, if we multiply negative 4 over 3 times 4, it doesn't come out nice. It's negative 16 over 3. And then if we add that over to the other side, oh, we're going to make Mr. Riz do some tough math in his head. All right, we're going to add that over. It's still going to be negative. Got to use the calculator this morning. All right, so negative 6 plus 16 divided by 3 is negative 0.66666 or negative 2/3. All right, so we're going to take our two answers and plug them in. So we get y equals negative 4/3 x minus 2/3 or plus negative 2/3. If you want to try that one on your own, you can. Or if you want, we'll go through this one here. So we got to find our m or b, and we're going to plug it into y equals mx plus b. All right, so if it's going to be perpendicular here, we're going to flip and switch this. So flip it, it would be 2 over 1, or just 2, and we'll change the sign. So it's going to be negative. Let's find our b by plugging it in. So we get negative 1 equals our m is negative 2. Our x is also negative 2. We're going to solve for b. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. And if we minus the 4 over, negative 1 minus 4 is a negative 5. So our answer is going to be y equals, we plug in our m, that'd be negative 2x minus 5. I feel like that one was easier than the last one. All right, we got a couple more practice problems here, making sure you guys understand the concepts. I'd say pause this video and then check to see if you got this right. Okay, let's go over these here. So each one of them, we got to find our m and our b to plug into y equals mx plus b. All right, so our m, if it's going to be parallel to this equation here, it's going to be the same thing. And then to find our b, we need to take that value and plug in our x and y. So we get y is 5 equals m is 1/5, x is 5. We're going to solve for b. All right, 1/5 times 5 is 1. And if we subtract 1 from 5, that means our b would equal 4. So our answer here for this problem is y equals 1/5 x has the same slope plus 4. All right, on the next one, same thing. We got to find our m, we got to find our b, and we're going to plug into y equals mx plus b. All right, so if we have a perpendicular slope of -1/3, we're going to flip that to make it 3/1 and change the sign from negative to positive. So our m is going to be 3. Now to find our b, we have to use our x and y. So we got y is -2 equals m is 3, x is 1 plus b. 3 times 1 is 3. We subtract 3 from -2, we'd get a b of -5. All right, so we get y equals 3x minus 5. Okay, guys, so this wraps up chapter 2. We're going to spend a couple days on this section here because the IXL that you guys are going to be doing goes over this and just regular lines too. It's good practice on all parts. Well, thanks for watching these videos. You guys have a good time, and hopefully you guys are ready for the quiz soon. Have a good one.